Here's to being in your 20s and not knowing what you're doing or where you're going, where we know everything and nothing at the same time, where we aren't fully grown, but we are no longer kids. Today, we take time to acknowledge the 20-somethings. I just didn't like it. All right. Welcome back to the 20-somethings podcast. I'm your host, R.I.C.O.S.
And I am Moe.
And back again with another episode.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 8.
This is 8?
This is 8.
We getting there, bro. We getting there.
So we had this thing where I seen on the Poor Minds podcast, and she was basically like, a lot of people don't make it to episode 15. So that's been our, like, I don't want to say goal, but we strive.
It's a short-term goal.
Yeah, we strive to make it to episode 15. 18.
Well, 16 technically.
16, yeah.
Beat the benchmark.
The benchmark. But so we haven't recorded in about a week or so. So how was your week last week?
I mean, I think last week went pretty well overall. I just don't really remember it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a blur.
Yeah.
But to my memory, it was dope. Like it was a pretty cool
week.
Yeah.
We have to appreciate the cool weeks because I just feel like the day-to-day is just it could be hectic. But I mean, my week was pretty good. I got hit with the Babydaddy R.I.C.O, man. And I mean, it was bound to happen because I feel like I talk a lot of mess about kids. Not like, oh, I hate kids, but like just how I'm just so like good off of them. I was bound to get hit with this.
I feel you know.
But
I've been there.
You've been there, yeah. And
not baby daddy, baby mom, but I in the same situation.
But you know what? I feel like women are more, I guess I don't want to say lenient, but we're more accepting of a baby father than a man is accepting of a baby mother.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of men, like once they find out the woman has a kid, especially young, like in our 20s, it's like, I'm not going to take her seriously. I'm like, girl, but I'm not going to like wife her. But us, I feel like us as women, we're like, oh, okay, he's a father, you know, he got a kid. We're more like prone to mess with them. I don't know.
I don't either, actually. I don't know. I feel like I see more men playing that, or rather taking on that, you know.
The role?
Yeah, stepdad, or messing with a girl with a kid. But I don't know. That's just what I see more.
Yeah, I don't see that at all. And I feel like, I don't know, even though it's kind of messed up, because when you think about it, the woman's pregnant for 9 months, right?
Right.
So, I mean, if you're a good woman, within the 9 months, you're not talking to other men. Even if you're not with a baby father, you're not like dating, you're not having sex with other men. But in the 9 months of the baby father, the life of the baby father, they are dating, they're having sex, they're doing all these things, and a baby's on the way. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I feel like it's definitely not a double standard, but it's definitely two sides to
that. Naturally it's gonna be like that. Like, I mean, you could. I mean, you. Oh, okay. Now I see why you said if you're a good woman. Yeah, because I mean, I guess you could still be, trying to have sex, but that's really disgusting. I just think that if it's not the baby father, like, why are you dating?
Exactly.
And then let alone dating is one thing, but you're having like.
You know what I think about? Weird, that show, The Secret Life of American Teenagers, where Ben was like dead, like, oh, I'm dating Amy, like, I don't care if she has a baby.
I don't care. Yo, like, what a unicorn.
Yeah. Yo. Most men aren't doing it. But it's like I said on the last pod that I was dating, right? But now I'm like, I'm getting to a point where I'm like, all right, maybe I need to start dating with intention.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's like, it's I think when you're going in it, you're not really, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going on a few dates. Yeah. But then after you just like kind of are dating men you don't really like or you don't really see anything with, it's like, okay, maybe I need to start dating with some type of intention.
I feel like that. I don't really hear that with women though. Like, not to say that that's, man, that can't be a thing. I just think with men, we tend to mask our intentions a little bit more because
the intention is.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, it's like I'm trying to have sex with you, and then that's it. Just see where it goes. But it's like, women always tell us, like, well, make your intentions known. I still may not mess with that, but at least you told me up front, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, yeah, but the goal is it works a little bit better with some type of deception and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm masking my intentions. Like
and honestly,
you know what I mean? So,
at a certain age, you should know his intention. I mean, even if he likes
that's how
you.
I feel too, man. I do feel, I'm glad you said this. Like, come on, man. Like, what do we do? I mean, yes, I want to get snow crab legs with you and listen to, whatever
Drake.
music and Drake. Like, all right, cool, man. That's all dope. But like, you know what it is. Like, what are you acting like you naive for? Like, I hate that, man. I don't like that. It's very naive. It's very oblivious.
To just act like, oh,
that's what you wanted. Like, what do you mean? What are you acting like that? You know what it was. Like, come on. What do you think? I'm just hanging out with you to hang out with you? You want to be your best friend or something like that? Like get out of here, man.
Wait, are you down? Like, you're down to wait, though.
I'm down to wait depending. I am not. Okay, put it like this. At this point in my life, at this point in my walk with Christ, sure, I'm down to wait, but that doesn't mean that for one, it's like, I'm open-minded to that idea because I do want to strive for, to present my body, like the Bible says, as a living sacrifice. And, you know what I mean? Like, I'm striving to be holy. I'm striving for that perfection.
Yeah, we all are.
You know what I mean?
In a sense.
In a sense. But it's like, I don't know if I'm going to come out on top. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be waving the flag at the end. Like,
yeah. I was telling my guy friend the other day, I'm like, because I think he has this, like, perception of me, and I mean, it's not a bad perception, but when it comes to, like, me trying to be put, with his friends, he's just like, well, I mean, they got to know what comes with you. Like, they have to know what comes with you. And it's like, I told him, I'm like, I'm not necessarily waiting until marriage. I'm waiting for a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm waiting for something real, something sustainable. Like, I don't know.
I feel that.
And if you have to wait as the man in the process for me to figure out if you are something real, then that's what the gotta do. And if you don't want to wait, which that's fine, because 9 times out of 10 I'm dating 25, 24, like young 20-year-olds. It's fine if you don't want to wait.
Right.
But it's like, it's easier for me to weave it out, because it's like, this is not things, I'm going to be honest. I don't want to hear you even mention sex. Like, I don't even want to hear you mention it because that just, it turns me off.
I don't know. But my thing is this. Why, like, I don't know when in history that sex conversation and the the concept of sex, like when all of that just started to become so taboo. It just seems like, why can we talk about, why can you know about, like, why are you gonna essentially know about my job and my career before I can talk to you about sex? You can have an idea of how much money I'm making, which means like you can clock my pockets in a way before I get the chance to tell you that I'm sexually attracted to you.
Yeah, or I like doggy style.
Exactly, in which both of those are extremely personal, but one of them is a lot more a lot more feasible than the other. And
so you think that like sex shouldn't be as taboo? Like that's something we should like that's a casual conversation.
It should
almost
just be like, listen, hey, I really enjoyed the time we've been spending. I want you to know that, going into this, my intentions were to see where things could go, but I also would love for us to have sexual relations with each other because I'm extremely physically attracted to you. It's like, what else do you think? I'm like,
I don't think any guy would ever put it like that.
But I would, and I probably would at this point in my life because I know how to articulate it.
Yeah.
But it's also like, but if you don't know how to articulate it, just express yourself. Why is it so hard for us to express ourselves sexually? Like, why is it so disrespectful or just taboo? Like, and honestly, it's the women that obviously is making a man feel that way because that's how what man is gonna be. I don't want to talk about sex now. It's too early.
Right.
And like, dude, you're
Yeah.
just
It's the
trying.
demeanor
You're
of the woman.
like exactly.
I remember I was dating a guy who we had to have went on like 7 dates before he even kissed me. And I'm like, yo, it must be my demeanor because, I started to think he was gay.
That's what I'm saying. So you got a time limit on when I can kiss you, which is a sexual act, by the way. But I still can't tell you how much I want to.
Is it really a sexual act?
That's an intimate act. That is a sexual act. That is a sensual, sexual, intimate act. Kissing someone, you're kissing someone. I'm not saying I gotta bend you over the sink and bang your brains out. Like I'm not. Obviously, I don't think that gets across fine in any manner.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a way for a man and a woman to come together that just met and be like, hey, you seem very interesting. I really like your personality. Like, oh, I didn't know that we have so many things in common. But yo, like, what do you think about us? Having sexual relations with each other. It's obvious. It seems to me that we're both physically attracted to each other, and you fill in the blanks out. Just whatever your context is, whatever you feel like saying. But I just think that it obviously needs to have a little, charisma, a little bit of
class
to
decorum.
Yeah, like hey, I'm just trying to hit you for real. Like you look good.
Yeah.
No, bro. No.
I hate that. I just hate a man that brings up like.
But it's honest though. It's still honest.
It is.
Doesn't mean it was classy or it's going to be delivered. It was delivered correctly, but it is honest nonetheless. But hey.
I feel like men nowadays are too damn honest. And I wasn't going to bring this up, but I just think that there needs to be some type of discretion. So, for example, I went out on a date with a guy, nice guy, cool guy. We went to the steakhouse and he's like, we're looking over the menu, whatever, we're talking. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to get wings and fries. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, I would get option B, which is steak, but I don't have steak money. Now, mind you, I just said, guys, we went to a steakhouse, right? And for one, I encourage young men, and I cannot stress this enough. If you don't have money to date, don't date. I'm not begging for a date. I don't think these women out here are begging for a date. It's just like, don't date. It's very simple. It's tacky to tell a woman that you don't have steak money and you take her to a steakhouse.
I didn't realize I went to a steakhouse.
At what point is there going to be some type of discretion?
I just think that I don't know what that point will be, but I do agree there needs to be some discretion.
Like some
with
mystery.
Certain things. They're like, leave the speculation open sometimes. Like or be creative. If you don't have the money, find a creative way to hang out. Me personally, I am a very simplistic, especially when it comes to like dating concepts, I'm very simple. I don't have a creative mind with that. I'm going to look something up. I'm going to ask somebody.
Yeah. Like, you don't feel like you're romantic.
No, not really. I do think that I have traits about me that can come off very romantic. I think that, I do think that I am a catch. I think that I have good quality, good qualities that like, oh, like he does that. Like, oh, he's a, but I think that's because I think that's my overall persona. Like that's me as a person. Like that's my character. Like I am gonna text and check up on you. I am gonna like one of the things like I grew up watching a lot of movies where like, when a guy smashed a girl, he didn't call her afterwards. Mm-hmm. And I always said like, man, I'm not gonna be that guy. And I've never been that guy, man.
Even if you don't like the chick.
Even if I don't like her, either she's texted me and I've responded and I don't go that far because I don't feel like talking anymore. Right. But at least I responded. Right. I didn't just like completely ghost you.
How's mom?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? How's your day going? What did you something like that.
And I respect that because imagine like how a woman's mind might wander like after, 100%. But again, that's going to bring me later to my point. We're going to talk about it on Corrupt Comments, but you shouldn't even be fornicating with men that you think would even do something like that, or men that even have that trait. I mean, unless you're just trying to, unless that's just like a sneaky link or something.
Which is still dangerous and risky and...
Sneaky links, and it's so crazy because there's so many. I know my friends have sneaky links. I know, I just know so many people that are fornicating with no
bondage.
Yeah, no bondage, no status. You don't even like him. Like you don't even like him. You're just like it's just somebody to have sex with.
Interesting.
But this is my thing though. I feel like some women, and maybe men too, we feel like oh, we're horny. Like, we need to hit this nigga up. Like, we need to see, or we just got from a night out. Let's go to this nigga's house. Like, and it's just like, you don't really need to do that. You might feel like you need to do that, but you don't really need to do that.
I feel that.
We don't need sneaky links. Y'all are we're so worldly that we feel like, oh, our bodies like craving this. Like we need, you don't need penetration. I'm gonna be honest. You don't need it. You're just worldly, and that's fine because I would hope, eventually you would grow out of that.
Absolutely.
You would kind of see things from the outside perspective. There's so many situations with, pregnancies, diseases. There's so many things that would lead you the opposite way rather than to go the sneaky link route, which, I mean, it's fine. You feel like you need to get off your sexual needs, but I'm just telling you, you don't really need to.
You know what I realized? I'm so glad you just said all that. And it made me think of, one day I was in my thoughts and, we as human beings just love a cheap thrill, man.
Yeah.
And we don't realize, I guess some of us don't realize how cheap of a thrill it is. But it comes with a crazy price.
Yeah.
Which is the conundrum, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a cheap thrill. It's like, come on, man. Like, it's so much more for you to find someone that cares about you and that you care about and build that than to just fornicate and have a sneaky link, which is really meaning you're cheating on somebody. That's usually the insinuation behind a sneaky link.
I think it's I always want to say this word. I think it's a double entendre. Did I say that right?
I mean, double entendre is what?
It's like sometimes it could just mean that you're sneaking and linking with this person.
That is a double entendre then. That's too meaning.
Yay for double entendre.
Hilarious.
We love a double entendre. But yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, man.
Let me play this video.
Cheap thrills, man. Stop it.
Cheap thrills, man. And let me tell you, the cheap thrill costs you 18 plus years of your life.
Was it so cheap then?
Was it so cheap? Or like a freaking disease you can't get rid of? Like,
Lord.
I'm telling you, not enough people have been scarred. That's why they move freely like this.
Yeah.
But wait, I just posted it. So I forget her name. Kayla Nicole. Kayla Nicole just posted a video. She was on live, and she posted this video, and it basically talked about having sex on the first night, which again.
Oh, yo, I think I saw that.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of people disagreed, and I mean, I don't really know how.
You know, well, let me say this, sis.
Yeah.
You got those that just want to sound righteous over the internet. So we're just going to automatically exclude them. Yeah. And you got people that genuinely dislike it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And those are the people, like, on Twitter, they were like, oh, like, you know, we got to unfollow her. She's one of those, da-da-da-da-da. Because why? Because you don't agree? Let's get into it.
It's more than just the vibes, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say, depending on the vibes. I get so tired of hearing that. Why do we act like that, though? If we just go off the vibe, you could be sleeping with the devil himself going off the vibe. The vibe could be good with anybody, okay? The vibe could be good with a serial killer, okay? If we keep going off the vibes, you're going to be laying with people you're going to hell with. We can't just go off the vibes. Who cares about vibes? Okay? It don't matter. It's not about just the vibes, okay? We can vibe with anybody. And then it's like, you know how people put on a facade? A lot of these guys, they gonna make the vibe good, especially if they don't mean you no good. And for girls too, you know what I'm saying? You might be vibing with a girl, the vibe is there, you know what I'm saying? Then she burn you.
Yo, but no, that's
yo,
facts.
shout out to her. Yo, shout out to
Kayla Nicole, man.
Yo, that was funny. That was funny. So the internet's mad at her, of course, because I see what it is now.
What is it?
You got I thought now before. I didn't really watch the whole thing, but when you said you have people mad at it, I'm thinking like, oh, she was saying that it's nothing wrong with sex on the first date, like, you know, blah blah blah. Yeah. And I would agree with that too. Like, I don't think that should be so looked at as wrong either. But I love where she took it, actually.
Yeah.
Because she talked about the realness of it.
Yeah.
And what's not just this vibe stuff, man. Most of y'all don't even know how to properly read a vibe or look past a vibe.
Right, exactly. And I'm not gonna lie, these niggas will sell you a dream. They will sell you a dream.
I've sold a dream many of times. I'm just genuine with it. I really and I know that sounds weird.
Can you be genuine and sell a dream?
Absolutely. I don't mean you harm.
But the dream's a facade.
I'll tell you this. Let me say this. I don't necessarily want to say I've sold a dream. I may not have sold the dream in a way that I probably could have if I was a ancient nigga. You know what I'm saying? But I did do a bit of, okay, I'm going to take this person here, or I'm going to, highlight certain attributes that I have for this person.
Right.
I'm going to put emphasis on a certain part of me to make this person maybe open up to me like me. Like, okay, for instance, I never did this before for a girl, and like day 2 of talking to her, and we kind of knew each other from middle school, but not really. But like I think like the next day, she was saying she needed help setting up something. Well, she didn't say she needed help. I offered the help.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm trying to like
show her you're Bob the Builder.
Not really. More like I'm trying to like show her that, oh, this nigga can, he came through as a man to help build, what I needed for my son.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, hey, you want to watch a movie? And I'm genuinely meaning that. Like, I will help you, but I can tell you right now, I'm probably not going to ever go over some girl's house that I don't intend on trying to hit, and help build, a TV stand. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, what if she was like a female friend?
That's a little bit different. If it's a female friend, yes. But what I'm saying is, at that moment, I was trying to sell a certain part of me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I can come through.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm only trying to come through now because, like, we've had really great conversation. We're vibing. The vibe is good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm ready to see what's up. Like, I'm ready to smash. Like, I want to see if I can smash. Which is wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's wrong. And so, that's what I mean by selling a dream. It's different ways to sell a dream, though.
It is different ways to sell a dream. A man has sold me a dream in a plethora amount of ways. Some I fell for. Some I was already already knowing. But I mean, you just never know. And me, I'm always going to show up as my authentic self. So whether a guy or a girl choose to do me wrong in any way, it's like, charge it to the game. I've charged so much to the game. Like, it's nothing I can even do about it. It's just like, I will hope that you would learn from it, or I don't know, meet somebody who does the same to you, and then
yeah. No, but I love what she said. I love what she said, and it sounds like it's coming from a biblical perspective.
Yeah, like, facts. Can't go off the vibes, man. They will listen.
You know what I'm realizing?
What?
Whenever in this world that we're living in, because we're in that era of everyone wants to be on demon time. And so every time you bring up...
stand on business.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. But now people take certain things too far. They take certain phrases. But like, this world wants to be so much involved with itself, its fleshly desires, and what the enemy wants them to do. That the minute you start to, oppose that with biblical truth,
they don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear that, man.
They don't.
And they get it's you can tell that demon is in an uproar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because then they'll start bringing up I don't know, just like women's rights, or like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like, we can do whatever we want with our bodies and da-da-da-da. And it's like, granted, you can, but look, what are you doing with your body? What are you doing with it?
I just feel like the more if more people truly read their Bible, okay, I'm not saying you got to read the Bible in a day.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not
saying back.
Nobody's saying that. I think that's possible. I think that may be impossible. I'm saying the more you study the Word of God, okay, biblically, the more you start to realize that your intentions, what you think about yourself that is so good, your heart overall, it's not good.
Yeah.
You'll start to realize the world is not good.
Yeah.
There's good in it, and that's because of what God has left. But
the world,
it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. So when we talk about abortion, for instance, so that's that's not a good thing. Yeah, you can do what you want with your body, and I'm going to love you and I'm going to support you. I'm not going to say I agree with you, but supporting and agreeing are two different things. People really should know the difference. And I don't feel like getting into the difference right now.
Yeah.
I just want to make my point.
Don't get me canceled.
Yeah, exactly. Even though you probably become famous if you get canceled. I feel like sometimes it works in the best favor.
Yeah, it's like when you get canceled, I feel like that's where the art has to overshadow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, then they'll look back and be like, they canceled her, but she was on point.
Right. Or they tried to cancel Gunna, and then he came out with that fire album.
Oh, so the album was fire.
That album was fire, and that's why he's accepted now.
I'm going to bump the album. Yeah, you know why? It's accepted.
Now he's not a snitch, guys.
Oh, yeah. It's like, I mean, look, I'm not a street nigga. He snitched. Okay. He shouldn't have did that. Yeah. But that's what he did. Guess what? Guess what that tells you? He's not a street dude. He knows how to make music that appeals to your ears.
Right.
And that's that. Keep it at that. Keep it as
It's y'all fault for even...
ADD kicked in the... Hold on. Okay. What I was getting on... What I was talking about?
Abortion?
Oh. Yeah, you can do that. It's just not good.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing. Once again, the Bible says present your body as a living sacrifice. God makes no mistakes. there are plenty of people. I'm not saying that whatever circumstances you got pregnant, whatever the case may be. Okay, well, nobody's saying that we have no type of empathy or sympathy for what happened. However, perhaps you should really hone in on the alternative.
I think with the adoptive parent thing, it's easier said than done because I'm gonna be honest, I don't want a kid out there that's my kid to have other parents.
Understood.
Yeah. And then it's like, you're gonna find me years later, you're gonna hate me, you're gonna ask why I got rid of you. Like, I mean, I support adoption. I understand the concept. I'm just saying personally, I don't want a kid out there.
Yeah.
Getting raised by another family.
I think people also should, if a person does choose to get abortion, like, understand that God loves you entirely,
right?
And there is grace for you.
Exactly.
And listen, it's okay.
It's fine.
It's okay. You will overcome it with the power of Jesus Christ, and it's all right, yo. Like, it's not the end of the world. It's a sad moment.
Yeah.
But you made your decision. You have free will. You will grow from that.
And God gave us free will.
We have, yes, that's literally where.
So we have to take heed to that.
Right.
He gave us free will. So, right. We went to Iftar. Yeah. Which is, correct me if I'm wrong.
I will say this. We didn't go to Iftar because it's not a place in a sense, but we celebrated. We like second-handedly celebrated Iftar.
Yeah. With one of my friends who is Muslim, and one thing about having friends of different cultures, I think it's just so I don't know, it's crazy to see, not crazy, but it's just so admiring. Like, I don't know, I just like to see different cultures, and it's like, I'm so deep in my faith, it's like, obviously I'm not converting, but I'm just saying, like, I like to see it all. Like, we watched her pray. We watched her family pray, and how the men and women interacted, and they ate, and just like, honestly, the prayer sounded like a song. Mm-hmm. It was beautiful.
It was.
It was like, and all the guys lined up, and it was like a whole thing. And I don't know, I love to see it. They invited me and Moe. We ate, obviously, because where do we go without, eating? So, yeah. Oh, but that brings me back to dating with intention. Because a Muslim dude asked me out, right? And I'm like, it's no reason, in my mind, there's no reason for me to date a Muslim. Like, it doesn't matter if I thought you were attractive, or if I thought you were cute, or it's like, there's no reason to be doing it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's like, I'm not converting, and you, I mean, I don't know if you'll convert, but it's like, again, I want to date with a purpose. So it's like, I don't want to just date men that I just don't, that's not going anywhere, or I don't see a future with. Because now I'm thinking, okay, well, how are we going to raise our kids? And, I'm not participating in Ramadan. Like, I can't cook a pork chop. Like, I just don't understand. It's like,
conflicting.
It's conflicting. It's conflicting. And I've seen people do it. I've seen people have, a Christian wife and have a Muslim father. And I've seen them kind of, I guess, coincide. She would not celebrate, but she would partake in having the hijab and whatever, even though she's Christian. And I just feel like you're, at a certain point, you're kind of compromising your faith. And what's so crazy? When I told this man, for one, let me just listen. I can just see a man and just tell whether that's my type or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
If I see fronts in your mouth, you're not the man for me. I like a square. Tell me about science. Tell me about analytics. I like that type of stuff. But anyway, back to what I'm saying. I feel like, yeah, it's just conflicting, and I don't want to deal with it. It's no reason to deal with it.
I agree, man. Yeah, man. I'm personally, especially, I know a little more about Islam than I have in the past year. And it's just, to me, it wouldn't work out. I would feel like, now, when you read Corinthians, First Corinthians, I want to say First Corinthians 7, Paul talks about, being equally yoked and things of that nature.
Yeah, exactly.
And I may be a chapter off, but it's in Corinthians. But hey, those of you that know your Bible very well, feel free to, drop it in the comments below for others to read, because I'll find it. But anyway, so he talks about being equally yoked. He also makes it clear that if you have a person in your household, if you have a spouse that is not of the faith, that if they do love you and they do pretty much what he's saying is, like, God will still bless that person because they are attached to you.
Right.
But Paul also says that if that person does want to leave, let them leave.
Right.
Because the idea that it is that when you have two Christians that are, married together, living in a household as they should be, if divorce comes up, Bible pretty much makes it clear that there's no reason, like pretty much everything could be worked through. There's no reason for divorce. And if you have a spouse, if you or your spouse cheated on one another, that's the only time. Is if there was sexual
adultery.
If there was adultery or some type of sexual sin that entered that relationship, that's the only pretty much excuse for divorce.
Which is crazy, because it's just like there's in I guess in our world, there's so many other reasons that would be valid to a woman or to a man.
Yeah, but they can be worked through. And what it is at the end of the day, and I forgot what podcast I was watching that dude said what it was, but I had already when he said it, I kind of was already kind of lately at that time frame, I was getting to that mind, that concept, that thought. But he put it so perfectly. And what it is pride. It's pride. It boils down to pride. You two can fix pretty much everything, but your pride is getting in the way. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's pride. Now.
So you don't. Okay. So what about the idea of a wife and a husband outgrowing each other?
I don't believe that, man. Here's what I'll say. Yes, you may have outgrown. There's people I know, man. Shout out my man from church. I ain't gonna put his name out there. I don't know how he feels about that. But my man from church, linked up with him at his crib. You know what I'm saying? Great time. First time hanging out with him, fellowshipping, having a great time. Vibing out, man. He's 39 now. He's been with his girl since they were 16. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Black love. You know what I mean? Beautiful children, beautiful home, beautiful marriage.
Yeah.
They've been through a lot together, but
when people say a lot,
it could be good. You've been through a lot of good together. You've been through some bad.
Yeah.
It could be.
I don't know. I think and it's probably messed up on my end, but when I be when couples tell me they've been through a lot, I just automatically assume.
Oh, of course, yeah. You'd be like, yeah, who cheated on who, right?
Yeah.
Nah, facts though. But the thing is that we do that because of the stigma of we know the condition of the world. We know how many people are not doing right. And so, if you're not one of those people that have a relationship where y'all cheated, it wasn't nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You can work it out. And so if the point I was trying to make was that being together that long, you can outgrow each other. Yes. But there's a way to spark that back up, yo.
Yes,
you know
I
what I'm saying?
that.
It definitely is like 100 times, and there's no way. Listen. I ain't been in a relationship since high school. You know what I mean? But I'm not about to let nobody tell me, because I'm in my right mind when I say this, whether I'm a Christian or not, and I'm a Christian. I'm just saying, you can't tell me that you can't find a spark again. I'm not letting nobody say that and think that they, you know what I'm saying, they proving a point by saying that, because you're not. Your pride is getting in the way. Guess what you're showing? Guess what the pride is? You don't feel like bring that spark out again.
Because when you think about it, it's like if two people have to want to make the relationship work.
Facts.
So, if one or the other is not doing the part on their end, I could see how that could be pride, or some people are really just stuck in their ways.
Pride, though.
Yeah.
Still pride.
I guess that still is pride.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, man. It's true, yo. I mean, like, okay, you feel like it's dead. Okay, guess what? Look up some ideas. Get creative. Hey, man, this is where the communication starts to kick in. And that part is hard to do with somebody that you've been with for a while, which seems weird, but I understand it. Because sometimes it's hard to come at somebody in a way where you don't want to step on toes. You're just trying to get a real point
especially
across.
If you know the person.
Yeah.
I know this is gonna bother her, or I know.
But hey, yo, babe, I feel like we need to get back to where we was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really, you feel like that? Yeah, I just feel like we've been off. Blah 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 blah. Like, can we figure out how to do it? Yeah, man, blah, blah, blah. And y'all figure it out. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all go on a date. You know what I mean? Figure something out. Get creative.
Yeah.
Try counseling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, if you feel like you can't be creative, try counseling. Like, there are ways to spark that. Guess what? If none of that stuff is working, if you still, well, then I think it's time to have a conversation on like what you two, want. And then see if you can achieve that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It just always feels like, especially now, and even with celebrities, with regular people, it's like divorce is just so at the forefront.
Celebrities,
celebrities are. I don't understand it. It's like, but then it's like one moment you'll be in Cabo and you guys are the happiest you've ever been, right. And then a month later, blank, then so and so files for divorce.
Yeah,
and it's like, I mean, who wants to just keep getting divorced and married and divorced? That doesn't take so much energy out of people. Like,
at a certain point, probably not. Probably done had 2 divorces already.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's a different world, man. You're dealing with 2 people who are very rich that they're, I mean, you think about, okay, so then why are you two, you must genuinely love each other. Like, it's like, and the love is gone. And it's like, or you, with that amount of money and exposure to so much in life,
you would get tired quick.
Probably get tired quick. I don't know. That's an interesting.
Wait, but back to the dating with intention with the Muslim guy. So when I'm like, okay, I'm like, you're not usually, the type of guy I would go for.
Right.
And I said, for one, you're Muslim. And this is, now tell me how this sounds. And this is my thing. You never know what's going to come out of a man's mouth, but I just feel like it's 9 times out of 10. It's never good. It's never that good. So he's like, we both believe in God, and I'm like, we do, but I mean, there's so many other parts to that, like it's such a huge gap if you think about it. Like, yeah, we believe in God, but I mean, you're trying, I just feel like people, and it's fine. I mean, I was just dating just to date. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I was just going on dates just to date. But it's like I'm almost tired of entertaining guys that I'm just not interested in.
Right. I think, an interesting movie actually would be like a Christian and a Muslim. That would be a great movie idea.
That would, but what would be the ending?
I don't know. That's the mystery of it.
Oh my gosh, we gotta.
What?
We
should do that, right?
Yeah.
That'd be fire. That'd be fire.
That.
But like, yeah, man, it just once again, I appreciate his persistence.
Yeah.
But it's also like you gotta be real. You have to be realistic. Like,
yeah.
On all aspects.
Right.
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying? And yeah, so.
And again, the most gangster ass niggas are Muslim, which I don't understand. But
yeah,
I mean,
it'd be like that when you get a lot of niggas went to jail, man. A lot of niggas done went to jail. A lot of niggas done, became Muslim through, you know what I'm saying, through an institution,
Facts.
So.
So let's get into the 20-somethings question. Okay, at this stage in your 20-somethings, right?
Yep.
At this stage, what's something you want to apologize for?
Man, I would love to apologize to.
Are you gonna say to? Like who?
Myself, man.
Oof.
Yeah.
Is it getting deep?
It has to get there. There's no other way to circumvent that. Like, the reason why it took a while to answer that is because I'm like, do I apologize to God? But I'm like, at the end of the day, he's made another way for me to, of opportunities to rectify. But I guess in a way, I do want to apologize to him as well. But like on a more like comprehensible, surface, like, yes, I want to apologize to myself because I feel like there are things that I should have done better, man. I just should have done better. One of those things is I should have took advantage of going to one of the best high schools in the country, and I squandered that, yo.
Yeah.
And because I squandered that, I thought I had life figured out at 16 and 17. I thought I knew the truth of the world. I thought that
you couldn't tell him anything.
You really couldn't. And I'm still, with certain things I'm that way. But for the most part, I'm not. I'm very receptive now. But yeah, you just couldn't tell me nothing. And I was very naive. You know what I mean? Didn't think that, but turns out I was, to the point where I didn't learn how to save money. Could have learned. Didn't want to. Didn't have the discipline to. I worked 3 jobs when I was 18. Never once did I save any money. Why? Well, it's an obvious answer. The obvious reason would be because I'm 18 with no real responsibilities and I'm working. I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor. So I'm going to spend the money.
Yeah.
And to the point where you keep up that behavior. Now I'm 29 trying to learn how to save money.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be transparent, yo. That's just how I am. I get money and I blow it. And it goes for the bulk of it goes to, bills and rent.
At this point.
I have my own apartment, but it's like, okay, when I have a little bit left over or whatever I have left over, that needs to be saved. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I just do not have the discipline. I do not know why. Well, I think I know why. I would say because it's just, I never learned it. But, things like that. You know what I'm saying? And so now I have to learn these things myself, man.
Yeah.
And I'm also giving myself a little grace because I feel like God has me where he wants me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think none of this is by an accident, but I do think that there are certain dynamics that would have changed. You know what I'm saying? Had maybe I would have, did better in high school. I would have been in college, got a degree. You know what I'm saying? And had a better job and things like that. I would have been on a better trajectory. But I also don't know that, if that was the case, I would have found God. Maybe he wouldn't have been able to talk to me if I was on a high horse at that time. Because when he came to me, I was on a very low horse.
Which most people are.
Yeah, I was on, low horse would be like a donkey. You know what I mean?
Donkeys sit pretty high.
Nah, they don't sit high at all.
They got that lump in their back?
That's a camel. Yeah, man. This nigga.
I was never taken to the zoo as a child.
That's funny. Clearly. Yeah. And guess what? They don't have camels at the zoo either. I don't know what zoo. I ain't never been to a zoo. I saw a camel.
Had a camel?
No, I ain't never seen no camel at a zoo. I've only been to 2 zoos in my life. The Bronx Zoo, which is where I used to live, and across the street, and the DC Zoo. I think it was the DC Zoo. I might have been to the Maryland Zoo. But yeah.
No camels.
No camels. I don't remember seeing a camel.
Something I want to apologize for in my 20-somethings. I don't necessarily have like a 2 person that I want to apologize to, but I just feel like I would want to apologize for just being stubborn, being very easily angered, if that makes sense, and judgmental. I feel like with certain friends that I had in the past, like when they would just do some dumb shit, and not me involved, but like just in their life, I would feel like I have the right to voice my opinion or voice my judgment, and I don't like when people do that to me. So it's like I kind of have learned from that, and I feel like everyone has to go through their own journey in life. And having a friend who's super judgmental or who's just so opinionated, like I was, and I still low-key struggle with that a little, because I just value my friends, and I value my family members or whatever the case is. So I just feel like I gotta get this off. I gotta get this off my chest, or and it's just like no. It's just like no. So I would apologize for that, and I don't know. I was just a very stubborn young person. I was very stuck in my ways. I didn't want to see the other side of things. I didn't feel like it was necessary. It's like my side is the right side. And, you get with it or you get lost. And that's just not, that's not conducive for growth. So, yeah, that's my little. It's my little one too. Let's get into corrupt comments. All right. I don't know if you have seen the Nickelodeon documentary. It's called Quiet on Set. It is on Netflix, streaming on Netflix right now. It's 5 episodes, and they basically discuss a lot of abuse, a lot of sexual, racial abuse that was projected onto the kids. And it's so odd how Nickelodeon was a channel for kids, kid content, and the kids weren't protected, like, at all. They have an episode, I think it's episode 3, where Drake Bell from Drake and Josh talks about being sexually assaulted, like brutally sexually assaulted by the dialogue coach. This is before, and this is crazy. This is before he got Drake and Josh. This was like around all that. There was like a little break between all that, the Amanda Show, and then Drake and Josh. And the way the dialogue coach like would just kind of lure him. He would tell the parents like, yo, if Drake ever needs to go over his lines, or if he ever needs me to take him to acting class or whatever the case is. So now the dialogue coach is around more. There's he's sleeping over, and the
sleeping over is crazy.
Drake sleeping over the dialogue coach. Yeah. And when I tell you that what was in the documents, I mean, forcible acts, like volatile sexual abuse. And I just think that that's insane. It almost makes me, it kind of like depreciates Nickelodeon. Not kind of, but it does. It depreciates Nickelodeon, Drake and Josh, all that. It's hard to watch.
Knowing what was going in the back.
Knowing what was going on.
It's freaking sick, man.
That's
so sad, man.
And the thing with the dialogue coach got 16 months in jail.
That's it?
And when he got out, he got a job at Disney Channel working on Sweet Life as Acting Coach.
No way. So he got a job with even younger kids.
Exactly. Until they found out, that he was previously convicted. And it's so crazy because for years, the kids that were on Nickelodeon, the people that worked, some of them for Nickelodeon, no one knew because he was a minor. So they never included Drake's name. But it was like a Jane Doe type situation. So no one actually knew that it was Drake Bell who was getting sexually assaulted. And, man, it's just so sad how no legal repercussions really occurred.
Here's my thing, man. Two things. Very sad, very unfortunate, extremely wicked. And my heart goes out to those victims and the parents of those victims because you think you're doing your child a great service by, honing in on their talents.
Exactly.
And allowing that to propel them, and provide a better future for them. And in a case it kind of does, but then on the flip side, they're being raped, they're being sexually assaulted, they're being disrespected. And that's going on not just for a few months, that's going on for years, man. So this stuff is embedded in their brains. They can't escape it. It wasn't just, Becky or John yelled at me today, or, John smacked my butt.
Yeah.
Really weird today on a set. I don't know why he did that. No, John kept doing that.
Yeah.
John escalated. It's just, it's sad. Other thing I'm going to talk about is our system of corrections. And I don't think that jail is the way to correct behavior. I do not see that ever. I actually see that, if anything, reinforcing the already wicked behavior, and not just for sexual assaulters and people of that.
Pedophiles.
I mean anyone. Murderers, whatever you name it. It doesn't really help. You're caging someone for a certain amount of time as punishment. People need help, man. That's not helping them. You're gonna surround them around 1,000 other, wicked individuals, or and that's, I'm disregarding the people that are in there that are actually innocent, that have been wrongly persecuted or prosecuted. I'm talking about the people that actually did do something. You're putting them around basically in a jungle, and you want them to get better. You want them to heal. How is that healing anyone? How are you supposed to thrive for growth when you're around nothing but, and then there's an underworld in jail? You know what I'm saying?
They fighting for their life.
They're fighting for their lives in jail. So how can you tell me that jail is a correctional facility? Nobody's being corrected. The only thing that's happening if people are getting corrected is the person that did something. He may have had a change of heart, change of mind, got around some individuals in there, but it's like, bro, that's because that individual deep down was always a good-hearted person. Yeah. Like, they always had a better view on life.
Niggas are coming out Muslim.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
For me, my thing with that, though, is like, at least you came out different than being, like, oh, I was, whoop-de-woo, you know what I'm saying? 730 this, I was, top blood, big, big crit this, Latin King, essay this, you feel what I'm saying? And like, yo, I get it. Like, I respect that. Like, I understand what you were doing on the streets, how you came up into that.
Yeah.
But like, yo, you went to jail and that didn't help. Right. Like, you got cooked up with them same dudes and you got even deeper into the gang life. And so when you come out, you're back in the game. Like, how did that correct anything?
And back to my point with the child stars, we were looking at people like Amanda Bynes, crazy. We were looking at her crazy. Lindsay Lohan, we're looking at them crazy. Even, I don't know, Miley Cyrus never really went off, but I feel like they all had their spurts when they got older.
Yeah.
And we're looking at them crazy, but what was really happening? Like, what was really going on to the point where they get older and they lose their damn mind?
That
That.
everything that happened when they was younger, it's hard to fight, man.
And it's so crazy because during the documentary, he's like, think of, because, you know, he starts getting uncomfortable speaking about it. He doesn't really go into detail. He's like, let's do this. Think about the worst thing you can think about when it comes to sexual assault. And that's my situation.
Sheesh, man.
And that is,
I don't want to think about that.
That's insane. That's insane. That is so, and you know, of course, Nickelodeon didn't really want to comment, but whatever. I just think that, again, okay, so to your point, it does make you think, because you're like, okay, murderers, pedophiles, what would be their reform?
Help, counsel, therapy, like a community of people that are not in jail and that have probably been in jail that can, like, you know, write them, you know.
Yeah.
There should be like a organization that, you know, is catered to these, you know, these men, young men and older men. It's like, it's not though. Like, and when I say an organization, I'm talking like people like, you know, people that have been on that side of the spectrum, man, and now they get to see the better things of life.
Like a scared straight.
Like a scared straight, but like without the scare tactic part.
Yeah.
You know, without you having to like someone who is no longer in jail, someone that completely changed their life around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like they're part of a program where, like, you know, let me meet with this 18-year-old who just shot up, you know what I'm saying, another dude over gang life. Like get them the proper that. Why are you jailing an 8? I'm sorry, man. It makes no sense.
So you're like on the more abolished jail.
The concept of it, no. The concept of it is probably fine, but also when you think about what Dr. Umar said and you think about the history of jail, you know what? Yeah, actually, yeah. Abolish jail. Find a better way. Because to me, jail has never been a good place for anyone, especially for black people. You know what I'm saying? For black and brown people, that's what it was designed for. So how are you now trying to turn it into a correctional facility where you can, well, I'll tell you why, because now they find money in it. Whether you're white, brown, black, you know, Asian, Latino.
Yeah.
We're going to find a way to profit off of these inmates. And they do.
It's so messed up because I remember what our bill was. And it's like for people who never been arrested before.
Right.
Who were expunged or whatever. I don't want to say not exonerated, but who weren't found guilty.
Right.
We still had to bond ourselves out. We still had to pay bond.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, you know, you're going in the population.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yo, but that's not from the start to the finish of how you even enter into that domain, which, like, I'm, you know, in a sense, I'm glad we got perspective, because intelligence is never a bad thing to have, but like, at least we can say, like, oh, we've been through the fundamentals of it, like entering into the system, going through the, you know what I'm saying, the strip search and, you know, fingerprinting and all this, you know, this whole thing.
And to think that people have been through that process multiple times
is ridiculous. That is annoying. Why you go through that again? That is beyond me. But what I'm getting at is that none of that says correction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? None of that is I'm trying to, my intention behind it is just to correct you.
And what kills me is they'll try to place certain things in the mix that will make a person feel like they're doing something when, I mean, realistically, I've never seen a person who got their degree in jail have a real job outside of that.
I don't know nobody.
But they will be like, oh, yeah, like, you know, you can get your degree in jail, or, you know, they'll give them jobs, you know, or something like that. And I get it. I guess it's to pass time. It's to make you feel like you're out in the real world. But it's like, where is the real reform? Like, when you're out in the real world, there's a plethora of other things that you could learn inside the jail.
One of those things you can honestly do is just educate yourself by reading.
And niggas do be reading in jail.
They do.
They do. They get buff. They read.
That stuff's great. Like, the health aspect of it is great. Like, as far, not the food, but like the fact that you're kind of like forced to like figure out how to stay fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, then you also have to like mentally be fit.
Yes.
That's a good part of it. And it's to an extent.
Yeah. And
but go ahead. Yeah.
Freaking, we got shit like solitary confinement.
What, like, how is that helpful, bro? How is that helpful? How is that not making me more angry and possibly more rageful?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, facts. I think that shit is so traumatizing to people. Like, it's like they're never the same. I don't care if you spend 2 days in there. You are in a room with no windows, no human interaction. Like, that can't be y'all form of discipline. Like, the only form of punishment? That's insane.
It's just, something's got to change with that, man. It's not going to change.
It's not.
It's like,
as soon as you said that, I was like, no,
it's
not going to change.
Anything righteous you're thinking that about how something should be, it's just accept the fact that that's not going to happen.
I mean, freaking Trump is literally running. How the fuck did that happen?
Bro,
how did he get back into the election after all of that shit? I mean, I'm just like, my mom was Basel. I'm like, there's no way that, you know, he's running and people are voting. And after they said he stole money, he was supposed to be all of these things. It's like, wow. You look up and it's like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. I don't know. I am not educated on politics.
Me neither.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, I was super shocked.
Yeah, but I will say this.
I didn't think it was possible.
There is we do understand that at this point in time, our government puts millions of dollars into propaganda, into media, to shapeshift.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like to literally change the perspective of certain people, certain situations. We know it's been done. It's made to deceive us. I will say this. Yes, you know, Trump has some stuff with him. But, you know, and I won't say this on the podcast because I'm not even trying to screw or cancel. You know, I don't even want to put us in a position where we're going to be threatened.
Yeah, somebody's attacking us.
Yeah, but there is some things. I will say this. From what you know about, you know, the corruption of politics and secret societies, and from what you've heard about certain things happening, like pedophilia rings and all this stuff, you know, none of this stuff is secret. It's out there. I will say this, that it's possible that there was possibly an expositioning trying to happen. And you know, it didn't. And so
what's exposition mean?
Exposing.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of exposing, that was the next topic on corrupt comments. Diddy's house gets raided.
Talk about that's crazy.
So March 25th, Diddy's house got raided. His homes got raided. For sex trafficking. And the reason, and then you see the video. So then you see the kids, they're in cuffs. No one was indicted. It was no warrant, but they're like seizing. whatever. They're getting these the laptops, the whatever. They're getting all this stuff from his house because of this alleged sexual sex trafficking situation. But you know what was just so sad to see? His one of his daughters was home, and she had to go through that, and she was in cuffs, on the ground. And it's just like, at what point are you, as the child of this star, like, what is my daddy doing? Like, right. What is my daddy doing? We all want to know. And it's so crazy because, yes, people are quick to say, no, it's not Hollywood's business to tell what goes on at the Diddy parties or what, because let's be honest, whatever this is has been occurring for years, allegedly. So for no one in the industry, well, I'll take that back. Some people have said things, but
it never
gets far. So the fact that all of this is coming up and he's losing all of these deals and all of these partnerships, I know that he might really be praying to God, like on his knees at this point.
I pray he is. I pray he's praying to Jesus.
Yeah.
I pray it's the right God. I pray that, once again, Diddy, if this is true, Diddy doesn't need jail time. Same with R. Kelly. He doesn't need to be locked behind bars. There's something deeper here. He needs to talk to someone. He needs counseling. Supervised counseling, for a certain span of time, as if like, oh, I sentenced you to 5 years in prison. Well, I sentenced you to 5 years with a shrink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like something needs to be talked about in a healthy environment to help these black men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you gotta pay your victims.
And yes, and then your obviously, which is just that, should go without saying. Like, yeah, you need to pay those victims.
Because is everyone lying? Like,
exactly.
I'm just so, I'm still shocked how a lot of people allegedly in the industry that are supposed to be close to him, no one's like really came to his defense.
That's because 2 reasons. 1, people mind their business. 2,
they do.
People are part of the business.
Exactly. Oh, that's so true.
So whatever, you know what I mean? You name it. It's one of the 2. It's like
you just thinking, when my time?
Yeah.
But it's so crazy because everyone's time is coming. It's gonna come. Like, how long do you think that you can be in these type of spirits or just being demonic or just participating in certain behaviors and you're not going to get exposed?
Yeah.
And I understand because a lot of it has been going on, like I said, allegedly for decades on decades. So you're probably thinking, nah, they ain't never going, like, what they going to find? Nobody's speaking. And then throw an NDA on there. Throw a couple of NDAs on there.
Yeah.
Throw a couple of private parties. Take people's phones. Like, you are.
A lot of stuff is I mean, you ever think about that? Yeah, exactly. With the NDAs and like the, give me your phone when you come to the, like, you don't have to, you know what I'm saying?
Attend.
You don't have to attend the party, but if you do go and you find out that you got to put your phone up, you don't have to do that. You can turn around. You don't have to sign an NDA. And so all this stuff is pretty much probably going to work out in Diddy's favor that he did that.
Yeah.
Because those are what you would call,
like, that's protection. What I would call,
it's protection. Like,
but could you imagine you going up to, like, in a Hollywood party with whatever celebrity and they're like, there's a guy that's like, give me your phone. Like, would you feel like, damn, why does he need my phone?
Oh, absolutely, I would say that. I'll be honest.
Did you turn around?
I mean, now I would turn around, but like, if you asked me if this was a 25-year-old with me, or younger, I'd be like, yo, here, man. Like, all right, they can have my phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because once again, cheap thrills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cheap thrills.
Cheap thrills, man. It's a mother lover, man.
Let's close out the pod, man. As always, it's something about your 20-somethings that... I'll go first today.
Mm-hmm.
It's something about your 20-somethings that makes you want to be intentional.
I love that. Yeah, I love that a lot. It's something about your 20-somethings that make you want to finalize your character to go through the rest of life.
Finalize your character.
Yeah, you pretty much, like, by next year, I should be the man that I want to be.
Oh, because you're not like there yet.
I'm not there yet, but
you're
like,
super close.
I don't know if I'm super close. If I had to, because I can be hard on myself. If I had to be honest, I would say I'm probably a third of the way. I'm probably a third of the way.
And then you'll talk to bystanders and they're like, oh my gosh, Mavante has grown so much. He's so amazing. He's so different.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's true. And that does happen.
Yeah.
But you have to be objective with yourself.
Yeah.
And you know how far you know what you're lacking in. You know the departments that you could do better in. And there's a couple that I don't find it necessary to be like a master in all of them and to excel in all of them. Like a few I could let slide, and just kind of nitpick here and there with that, or add a little bit to that basket. But like two that I definitely need to like hone in on, that's what it is. Those are the two I definitely need to have together by 30.
I respect that.
At least be in a position where when I am 30, it's okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah, the ball is rolling.
The ball is rolling. You know what I mean? So that's that.
As always, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the 20-somethings podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. And we'll see you next week.
Peace out.